And what is going on, Team Elite? For you guys who don't know me, I'm Jeremy Funderburg. I am one of the co-founders and the CEO of the Elite Minds Marketing Agency, here to bring you another episode of Elite Perspectives. And as you guys know, this is where every week I am bringing you the industry elites for you guys to learn from. And today's episode is going to be absolutely special because, as you guys know, I geared these episodes in this show for all you out there wanting to learn how to walk in that entrepreneurial journey or just succeed at a high level. But for all my aspiring entrepreneurs out there, I got a treat for you because I have my buddy who he's a VP of Primerica Financial. His office is expanding. He is needing entrepreneurial people. So not only do you get to learn from him, if you feel like that's you, you can reach out to him and he can help you get started on your entrepreneurial journey. He's trying to expand. He's needing people. He can teach you. And I got him with me in the building. I got my buddy, Danny Rodriguez. What is going on, brother?
Hey, man, what's going on? Good. I'm glad. Hey, thanks for the invite. Really appreciate it. I'm excited to share some information.
Nice. Hey, it is my pleasure to have you invited. I mean, you are a true industry elite. I love what you're doing. I love how you're helping people, how you're helping families, and how you're just really making the difference. And man, I think people are going to be able to gain a ton of value from you. But and for everybody listening, I want you guys to know I actually met Danny at a networking group, and he was probably like one of the first guys to come up and introduce himself to me. Just really great guy, really likable personality. And I could already tell from the start, like, all right, this is a guy I want to get to know. So now I want you guys to get to know him as well. So Danny, I just want you to start by just tell us your story. Who are you as a kid and what led to you going down this entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I grew up I was born and raised in New Jersey. And so my parents were Cuban. And so my dad came from Cuba, running away from communism and all that stuff. So my dad had like a fourth grade education. And so for him, education was like a real big deal. So I grew up in a household where it was basically, you got to go to school, you got to go to college, you got to get good grades, you got to get a job and all that stuff. And to tell you how ingrained it came into me, I just assumed that everyone went from grammar school to high school to college. I thought that like you had to do that. Like I didn't think there were other options. Like one of my buddies didn't apply to college, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't go? Like you have to. I mean, I think it's the law. Like I think you really like I think you're in trouble if you don't go. Like that's how ingrained I was. And so I went to Rutgers University. I got my bachelor's degree there, and then I got recruited by Ford Motor Company. And so Ford Motor Company recruited me, and I'm really ambitious. And when they sat down with me, they said, listen, if you want to really move up in the company, you're going to have like different assignments, okay, which is kind of like code word for relocation, because you have to kind of move around all over the place. And so I was single, and I'm like, yeah, right, no problem. I got no problem with that, right? And so outside of New Jersey, where I was born and raised, and Charlotte, which was my last assignment, I probably never lived in a place more than, I don't know, maybe 12 months, 12 to 15 months. Okay, so I moved everywhere. So when you're single and you got that kind of lifestyle, it's kind of cool when you're single, but as soon as you have a family, it's not cool at all, right? It actually becomes a nightmare. There's a reason why executives have a lot of divorce rates and all that stuff, because we would constantly move. So I ended up here in Charlotte. It was one of my assignments, and because I had moved up so much, they sat down with me as soon as I got here, and they were like, listen, just to kind of manage your expectations, there aren't that many more positions above you now. Okay, so you're going to be here for a really, really long time, because most of us are not going to go. We're kind of entrenched in there. And so when you say that to a guy like me, I always want to keep getting better and better. It's almost like it takes your spirit out, right? Because it was really hard for me to think. I'm like, man, I got to do the same thing, go to the same office, do the same commute, do the same job year after year after year. I mean, that's going to wear me out. So long story short, I started working at Primerica part-time because I was just always looking for opportunity. I like what they did. I like helping families out. I always wanted to be a business owner. But I'm not like the guy that's going to invent an app, that's going to create something. I don't have like natural talent, right? I can just copy like it's nobody's business. Okay. I'm really good at copying. So I'm really not a car person. Okay. I used to work for Ford Motor Company, but I'm not really a car guy or anything like that. So, but I understand the franchise system. I kind of figured that out. And so that's what Ford is. Ford's a franchise system. Right. But so I started looking at franchises and, any kind of like big franchise, you're going to pay like $1 million or you really have to sign your life away. Right. So like I said, I was my last position at Ford was I was the guy that if you didn't pay Ford Motor Company, I had to go in there and we basically took everything you had except your home. And so back in 2008, 2009, when the economy was really bad, a lot of those guys were losing their dealerships. And I didn't like that kind of part of it where someone can come in and if you don't do the things you need to do, they can wipe you out. So back in 2008, 2009, Ford asked me to move again. And so I had gone, unfortunately, divorced, and I have kids. And so they said, hey, listen, we got a position for you in Nashville. We're limiting the one in Charlotte, but just go to Nashville. You'll be okay. Right. But I'm like, I'm not going to go to Nashville. I got my kids here. They're like, well, no problem. Just commute. And I'm like, I can't from Nashville. Like, it's not like, it's not like an hour commute. I mean, I'm not doing that. So they were like, listen, if you don't move, we're going to have to lay you off. So just go. And I'm like, guys, I am not going. Right. So they said, go or we lay you off. And so I'm like, I'm not going. So guess what happened? They laid me off. Right. And so I can tell you the time, I can tell you exactly where I was. Okay. I knew it was my decision, by the way. Okay. So they gave me a cool package and all that stuff. Okay. But I can tell you exactly when it happened. Okay. I knew that as soon as I got the call, I knew because it was I decided to make that decision. But I remember sitting in my kitchen and I got that call and I remember hanging up and I remember thinking to myself, I will never, ever, ever let another company control my life like that, ever. Right? I was making a strong six figures, well over 100,000. Right? So I went from 100,000 to that phone call right after that to zero. Right. And so I'm like, I will never let anyone do that to me again, ever. Like, I will go homeless. I was literally willing to sleep in a car if I had to. But I was going to go build something on my own, run my own business. I can figure it out. I'm not going to let somebody else control me like that. I just got so mad, so upset that I'm like, I'm not going to do that at all. And so I was already with Primerica here part-time. And so the way Primerica works is it's like a franchise system, but instead of buying it, you have to build it from the ground up. So that's kind of the price you pay. And so I'm like, I walked into the person that was training me. I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? Like, I'm not going to work anywhere else. I need to figure this out. I need to build it from the ground up. I want to own an agency. What do I need to do? And so I got trained on how to do that. And so that happened in 2009. By 2013, we had our own location. We'll probably open up another one by the end of the year, maybe two more next year. And so, but it was just that the days of where you can you go to school, get good grades, that doesn't exist anymore. I mean, I don't care what anyone tells you. I don't care what anyone says, right? If you don't control your time and your ability to make income, like there is no such stability. I interview a bunch of people, and I got a lot. When I came here, I got my MBA from Wake Forest. So I got a lot of buddies who are MBA guys and all that stuff. But they've all been laid off for a dozen times and stuff like that. And, so people think they have stability, and there's nothing wrong with the job. I mean, I think that's, what it is. But if you think you have stability and you're working for someone else, man, I'm going to tell you that doesn't work. That does not work at all. So that's kind of what happened here. That's kind of how I started with Primerica, and I became a regional vice president with them. And it's a blast. I don't even, it's the craziest thing how your mindset switches. I still have friends that are employees, and they're like, well, I get 2 weeks off for vacation. And I'm like, 2 weeks off? I'm like, you get 10 days a whole year? I'm like, we take time off whenever we want to take time off, whenever. There's no such thing as 2 weeks vacation. There's just a lot of freedom when you're an entrepreneur. There's a lot of things you can do when you're an entrepreneur that you cannot do when you're working for somebody else. So I get really passionate about helping people become entrepreneurs and whether it's through us or whatever endeavor they're doing. I think that's, and if you're gonna, I think in my opinion, the way you fix this economy is you give it to small business owners. Okay, and you just let them do what they need to do, right? Not the big corporations. They got a sole purpose, which is to make money for their shareholders, but that's not going to be your best interest. It doesn't work that way.
It's true. That's good. A lot of good points in there. I love the story. And I think it's good because I think everybody can learn from that. Everybody can be impacted by that. And for everybody listening, like, I want you guys to hear like a bunch of different things he talked about. One, he talked about like when he was going the corporate route, he had that whatever it takes mentality. Like, I want to succeed at the highest levels. So he was willing to commute and do whatever they asked him to. So for any of you guys that's wanting to go the corporate route, like that's kind of what it takes if you want to start succeeding at that high level. But then also hear about the situation with the family, because that divorce rate at these high corporate levels, like once you get up there, those levels are high for several reasons. But the fact that, you're never with your family, that's a big part of it. I have a lot of friends that multiple six figures, strong six figures in their corporate gigs, but they're traveling all the time. They're not really with their family, and it splits them apart. And then, yeah, and the other thing I want you guys to hear is how he talk when he said like he was working his butt off, doing whatever it took, and there was no further he could go financially with the company. And when you're somebody like Danny, and you have that drive and you have that hunger, like your only motive to keep doing better and to keep pushing hard is to know there's more to get. But if a company says, oh yeah, just keep working hard, and next year we want you to work even harder, and next year even harder, but you're not going any higher, that's the realities of corporate America. People love going the corporate route because they feel secure with a base salary. There's a floor, but also know with that floor comes a ceiling. So
yeah, and you're always there's a trade-off. There's always a trade-off, right? Like like I said, we were making six figures, okay, which is, on the surface sounds good. But if your income is, you're always trading time for dollars, and there's a limited amount of time, right? So you're not making six figures and you're working 40 hours a week. It does not work that way, right? You're putting in 60, 70, 80, 90 hours a week, and you're on call all the time. I mean, all the time. I remember being on vacation. I'm a big beach guy. I love going to the beach. But I remember being on the beach, sitting in the car. My family's on the beach. But when the call comes and I got to work, man, there's no like, hey, this is my day off. That doesn't work when you're at that level. You got to work. So I would be in my car with my laptop working, seeing my kids telling me like, come on, Dad, come and play and all that stuff. I'm like, man, I don't want to, that's crazy. But a business owner, if you're a business owner, you're not trading time for dollars anymore, right? That's the biggest difference. If you're, I don't care how you do. I don't care how much. I'm never impressed by how much money you make. Tell me how much you make if you're not working. Take the year off, right? And tell me what your income is. Now I'm impressed, right? You can be a doctor and you make 200,000. That does not impress me. I got a friend of mine. She's a real estate agent. She makes probably like 250, 300,000 a year. Okay. She's a phenomenal person. Okay. I don't want her life. She probably gets up at 5 a.m, works to 11. And tomorrow she wakes up broke again because she's got to do the exact same thing over and over and over again. And that's it, you got to find a way where you're not trading time for dollars anymore. And being a business owner, and that's really the only way you're going to do it. Is you got to separate that time and income connection, because you got to have the freedom to enjoy that money.
You got to. And I love what you said about the 2 weeks and the vacation. It's like, oh, because like I think about that because back in December, I went on a vacation. I'm a beach guy also. Our family has a condo in North Myrtle. And from December 8th until like New Year's, we were at the beach. Right. I was like, I worked the first couple of days of December. My wife worked, and then we just took the rest of December off.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's life. I mean, you gotta, making money is awesome, but if you can't spend time, it's not worth it. The opposite is true too, right? Like you can have all the time in the world, but if you don't have any money, that's no fun either.
Yep.
Right. You got to find a vehicle where that gives you, at the end of the day, gives you the ability to have freedom and income. Whatever that vehicle is, that's what you got to have. You got to have that goal in sight instead of just like thinking about today. Like, hey, so many people get tied up with, like, I get paid 40,000, 50,000. I'm like, hey, what happens 10 years from now? Like, what, like,
Yeah.
that's a short-term thinking. No, you can't think short-term.
What happens when COVID-19 hits
Yeah,
and that job
yeah,
is gone?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you see that all the places here, man. Everyone that thought they were really stable, and I mean, like I said, I tell people all the time, I hate what's going on here. I can't wait till this is over. But for our family, we're okay. We'll be okay.
Hmm.
We're not going to shut down or anything like that, and so we'll be fine. But yeah, you think about like an employee, or when I worked at Ford, they had a lot of transformation, a lot of restructures and stuff like that. That'll wear you out. That'll wear you out on your soul. It just wears you out even mentally.
Yeah. So talk to me about passive income. Like, I know you feel it's vital. I want you to really just explain your views on passive and how all that is in your life.
Yeah, so my world, we get passive income two ways. We do a lot of investments. So in the investment world, you get a lot of passive income. But we also get passive income because when we open up different locations, because the company gives us basically a bonus for opening up multiple locations. So in my world, Wall Street wants us to have more locations, and so we need more market share.
Mm-hmm.
So just like you can own three McDonald's, right, and you'll make three times the income basically. It's kind of the same thing in my world. So the company, every time we open up another location, they give us a bigger bonus. But that passive income is, to me, that's what gives you the freedom. That's the reason I stayed here. Okay, because
Mm-hmm.
you can open up a lot of businesses, but I'm used to making money. That part I can figure out. But it's the freedom that's what I wanted. That was the part I wanted, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I was saying before. I'm never impressed by how much money you make. Tell me how
Mm-hmm.
much money you make when you're not working,
Yeah.
right? And really, the only way there's only a few vehicles that gives you a lot of passive income. Like, you can do real estate, gives you passive income. Investment definitely gives you passive income. But in my world, opening up businesses gives you passive income, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But the advantage we at Primerica has here is when we open up another location, I don't have any expense to open up that location. So in other words, if I had to buy a second McDonald's, I still have to put that initial investment in again to buy that
Mm-hmm.
second franchise. Here, I don't really have to do that. So we open up another location. That expense really goes with someone else. But so I'm just getting passive income. So you can have 5 or 6 different locations, and you have no expenses. So it's one of the few businesses that I know of where you can open up multiple locations, but your expenses don't actually they don't increase. They stay the same, so that the margin becomes really huge. Right? But the passive income is what gives you freedom. I mean, that's the key. Right? It's just the ability to not work and have some time to spend time with your family. And be honest with you, those are the people that have the biggest impact on society.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, look at anything that people want. It's either come down to time or they need income. It's either one or the other that
Mm-hmm.
people want. You want to give a lot to your church, right? Make a big impact on your church. It's either going to be money they're going to need, or they're going to need a significant amount of your time to get whatever goals they have. Your family, a loved one, and it's always going to be that balance. But if you have a business or you have passive income, you can give both, and that's really what people want, in my opinion.
It's true. I like to say there's two extremes. Like you're saying, tell me how much money you make. That doesn't impress you. How much money you make when you're not working, and you're talking about the some people have a lot of time and no money. Some people have a lot of money, no time. I said
Right.
people with money and no time, I call them doctors. People with a lot of time and no money, I call them college students.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That sweet spot in the middle where you got time and money, because at some point, you know, like you said, somebody in your family, they're either going to need your time or they're going to need your money.
Right.
And how you set that up is vital. One of my friends, she was talking about how her dad was like, hey, take care of your mom. Like, she's going to need you. Like, before he passed, he told her that. And she's
Yeah.
like, what's he mean? Because, like, they were both, like, college professors at Clemson. They were both making 6 figures. They had tons of money in the bank. And she's like, what do you mean take care of mom? Like, y'all have a lot of money. And she's like,
Right.
oh, what he means is she's going to need my time.
Right. Right.
And it's like he was saying, like that, like you were saying, is that marriage of having both that truly creates freedom in those options. And for those of you guys who don't understand like fully the business world yet, that's still trying to learn that overhead. If
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to open up a bit. Like if you want to open McDonald's, you can create ridiculous like passive income, but you're going to
Mhm.
come like 1.2 to like 1.8 million or 2.2 million, something,
Yeah.
depending on the size and location. Like you're coming a lot of money out of pocket, and it's going to
Right.
take 5 years before you even start to see a positive in that
Right.
flow. Where with Danny and his business, you're not having all that overhead to start. It's going to be very minimal, but the upside is high. You can make your money back like that.
Yeah, we have big margins. Like our business, I have business partners. Business owners that are friends, and they have a hard time understanding it because the way Primerica sets it up, they take care of a lot of the back end operations, right? And so I definitely have to pay my office rent and all that, and like supplies and equipment, and all that stuff. But payroll, compliance, advertising, marketing, legal stuff, all that's handled by them. And so that doesn't cost us anything. They take care of all that for us. So the margins here are really, really big. I got business owners that, they're like you said, their overhead, right? If they don't make 10,000 a month just in income, they can't even pay their overhead because they got rent and equipment and leasing and all that stuff. And then I'm like, man, if I got to make 10,000 every month before I can even make a profit, that's a lot of, like you better
Mm-hmm.
work. Right. And
Yep.
so we're really been blessed when the way Primerica has set it up where they kind of, they really take care of a lot of those expenses up front for you. And so I've never seen a company that does that. And I've got a lot of experience with different companies, and
Mm-hmm.
they're very unique. There's a Amazon, well, not Morningstar. I don't know if you guys who know Morningstar is, but it's a company that does a lot of research on industries and companies and all that, just like a third party research firm. And so they were doing a research paper, and they had this conference with other financial institutions. But they did a report basically saying that like, hey, like Amazon is not really afraid of anybody. Okay, like Amazon is, or like Walmart really not afraid of a lot of people except Amazon. Like Walmart's really afraid of Amazon, right? And so because they've been very disruptive. Amazon
Mm-hmm.
has been, right? And so this VP of operations said that Primerica, it will be as disruptive to the financial industry as Amazon has been to the retail industry.
Mm.
And so like right now we're licensing more people than most brokerage firms combined.
Wow.
Yeah, we're licensing a lot of investment people here. So it's just kind of the tip of the iceberg for us. So we're really, really excited about what's going on right now. And just giving people the opportunity, like to give someone like me, the average person who doesn't really have natural talent or skills or anything like that, I just have work ethic. To
Mm.
give the average person like back that American dream, where you can kind of build it and change your family's life forever is a pretty unique thing. And so I get really passionate about that. Like 40 years ago, like you can't, like you said, you can't buy for the average person. They don't have $1 million to buy McDonald's right now.
Mm-mm.
40 years ago, you probably could have, right? It was only like, I think 5 or 10,000 back
Yeah.
then, but not today. I mean, that's pretty established now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get really fired up about helping, like just young average people that have the work ethic. They just need the vehicle to get them there. And then they're like me. They don't want to have to try to figure everything out. They want to work within the system, right? But they're not going to invent the app or anything like that. Like just like me.
Sweet. So, all right, because I think that's good that the average person can get into know business with you. But I know there's some people listening right now. It's like, oh, that sounds cool. That sounds interesting. I might want to do that, but they don't know the financial industry at all. So how do you guys help them with that? How do you alleviate that problem?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have think of it like a three-legged approach to training. Okay, so we're looking for the intangibles. So I can teach everything else. The hard work, really hard to teach. So
Okay.
we have a training structure. So we have training like in our office. We have training Tuesday and Thursday evenings. We do it through Zoom, and I kind of do it in the evening because we have a lot of part-time people that work somewhere else. So we
Mm-hmm.
allow people to start part-time with us. But the second leg is they always have a mentor. There's always someone really experienced helping the new person out from day one. And so that person is the go-to person. So when I got someone coming in new with me, I'm really working with the clients with them. And so they're just like, that's like an apprentice. They're learning, they're getting their skill set up. And they start realizing that what we do is it's all principle based. And so, it becomes kind of very duplicatable. And then
Mm-hmm.
the third leg is we do have to get licensed here. We're a really regulated industry. You give financial advice out. But we even help with the licensing process. We pay for about 98% of the cost for someone's licenses. And so Yeah, I mean, it's like I think right now they put in $74 towards our licenses, and we put in the remaining $1,400.
Wow.
And so yeah, but that's how we do it. So if someone doesn't have the experience, it's the training that we have, but it's the mentorship. It's the mentorship that really that's the glue that puts everything together.
Nice. And I want
Yeah.
you guys to know that's powerful. It's one, if you've watched any other episodes, you know I always talk about my mentors. Mentorship has been absolutely huge for me. But then just them helping out with the licenses, like most people don't know this, I actually have a few insurance licenses myself, and which mine are in, health insurance and Medicare, Medicaid, and health and accident and stuff like that. But that process to get your license from studying and learning to paying for the courses and paying for your tests, and that stuff adds up quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. And then we have to get our Series 60, Series 63, which is an investment license. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, sponsored by a brokerage to do that. And so, yeah, so that, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, probably most of the people that start with me right now, they're probably under 30 years old, you know. So I got a lot of young people starting because they tend to be hungrier, and that they have a different perspective of what's going on right now with corporate America than some of the older people have. Yeah, so it's really a good opportunity for someone that wants to get into the financial service industry. Those licenses are professional licenses. They like yours. You get to keep them for the rest of your life. They're yours. They don't belong to the company.
Yep. So that's awesome. So I want to play a game with you really quick called Elite Instincts.
All right.
And the way it works is I'm going to say a word and you have to respond back to it with the first word that comes to your mind after hearing it. All right.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
All right. First one, investment,
Passive income.
network,
Business opportunities.
money,
Freedom.
family,
Most important thing.
prosperity,
It's the second most important thing.
culture,
Good. Family.
passive,
Freedom.
security,
Just your emotional well-being.
knowledge,
Uh, Potential.
clients,
Lifeblood.
sales,
Education.
Danny Rodriguez.
Danny Rodriguez. That's probably the hard. You got me on that one. Danny Rodriguez is just a good person, a good average person that really wants to have an impact on people.
Well, there you go. Y'all heard it. And I can tell you that's genuine. He is a really good person. He really wants to help. He's probably been one of the guys that's been, here to help me probably more than a lot of people, honestly, just lately. He's during these times, he's just stepped up. He's been a true friend. And I know he really wants to help people. He wants to help you guys. So right now, I just want to open up the floor to Danny and just let these people know, what you have going on, what you're working on, what should people be keeping an eye out for, how they get in touch with you. And it's all yours, brother.
Yeah, and hey, I really appreciate you taking the time and talking to me and all that. This was a lot of fun. This was just really, really cool. Like I said, I'm interested in helping people become entrepreneurs. I love to get clients. So obviously, if any of your viewers out there need any kind of financial advice or anything like that, I love to talk to them. We don't charge anything for our services. Okay, that's a big different than what other firms do. So we don't charge anything. I obviously make money, but we just get paid by the institutions instead of having the customer pay us. So if I can help someone with an investment, the investment company would pay me, not the client. And we have very low minimum requirements. So a lot of investment firms require a lot of upfront money. Our minimum is $50.
Wow.
So $50, yeah. So I can get someone access to all the major investment companies, but they don't have to bring 10,000. They can start with 50. So they can start much sooner in their career than waiting till that money comes up. So clients, obviously, and anyone that I do a lot of helping people become debt free too. So anyone that needs to be debt free, man, that's a big thing for us. But on the entrepreneur side, what more we were talking about, yeah, anyone that wants to be an entrepreneur, that wants to be in the financial services, that wants to have the time and the freedom, I'd love to talk to you. We'll see what happens. Best way to reach me is you can call me or text me. That's probably the best. I got my phone with me all the time. My number is 704-999-1942. That's 704-999-1942. That's probably the best way you can reach me. You can text me or call me. Uh, I'll do a lot of emails, but if for your people here, those are, important people to me. So you guys can just call or text me. And I love to talk to them. We're the last month, as crazy as last month was, the company opened up 19 new locations nationwide. And
Wow.
so here, yeah, so our goal is we want to open up 6 new locations. So I just need good, solid people that want to work and they want to have fun and they want to have a great culture to operate in. I tell people, like, if you're looking for the corporate world, like, where you're going to sit in a cubicle, don't call me, right? Because I'm going to drive you crazy. I like to have fun. I want to have fun. We're gonna work hard, but let's have some fun. Let's high five. Let's go out and play some sports. Let's go do some cool things. This is for my people. It's a family for me, and so we have a lot of good times together.
Awesome. Well, there you go. If you guys want to have some fun, make a ton of money, make sure you reach out to Danny. He even trusted you guys with this personal number.
Yeah,
So
call me.
give him a call. He's rapidly expanding. I mean, their whole institution's expanding. While most people are losing their jobs and businesses are going out of business and everybody's just complaining about COVID-19. They're like, no, release this, stay at home in these quarantines. The businesses are failing. Not them. They just opened up 19 more locations. That's what you want to align yourself with. So I'm going to have links and everything below so that you can get in touch with Danny. Call him if you guys got questions. And if you're looking to be an entrepreneur, then make sure you call him. If you're not, but maybe you do want to get out of debt or you want to start working on your investments, you need some advice or anything, make sure you give him a call. I'll personally vouch for him. I'll put my name behind him. And I'll tell you guys, you can trust Danny. Make sure you reach out to him. But as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next episode.
Thanks, Jeremy.